If you told me last year that gold would be over $5,000 an ounce and silver would cross $100 an ounce at this time, I don't think I would have believed you. But here we are. And instead of panicking like everyone else in the jewelry world, I am genuinely mostly excited. And let me tell you why. First, let's set the stage. Both gold and silver have hit historic highs this year. Like I just said, gold is cresting 5,000, silver is over $100 an ounce, and this is like business changing, right? Once in a lifetime kind of numbers happening. And if you want to know why this is happening, you should watch another video because that's not what this one is about. This is about how we are going to change our mindset around all of these changes so that we are looking at this as an opportunity and not coming from a place of fear. The increased metal prices do make our costs go up, but we're going to make more profit per piece. If we're using a 50% profit margin and we have an $80 piece, that means we're making about $40 roughly off of that piece, correct? So if that piece is now worth $200, then you are making $100 from the piece. And that is still covering your costs because $100 is covering your costs. The other $100 is profit, in the same way that $40 would be your cost and $40 would be your profit for your $80 piece. So every time we sell a piece of jewelry, we make more money. This sounds really great to me. Honestly, I have been slowly making moves towards moving into more of a fine jewelry space because I do love the idea of taking my time on less pieces. So instead of every 10 pieces making me $1,000 at a festival, now every 4 to 6 pieces will make me that $1,000. So these pieces can be more special. It also just means less time grinding away if you're the only maker in your studio, if you make all your own pieces and you don't have any sort of assistant. It really does free up some time. And how are we paying for these materials, you might ask? But you have a built in way of paying for your first batch of the materials, which is your scrap, which I think you have more scrap than you think you do. I have been sweeping my floors. I've been going through my personal collection of jewelry. I've been going through all the old pieces that were not bad enough to take apart, but not great enough that I really want to put them out at markets anymore. You know what I'm talking about. So I've just been bringing everything together. And once I sell that scrap, I'm going to have a nice little nest egg. It is pretty amazing. You have a product that you paid like $27, $28 for, and now that product is worth $100 and $110. Now, I want to be real for a second because this reframe doesn't mean that rising prices aren't completely painless. When metal prices rise like this, you are faced with some uncomfortable choices. Do you compete on price? Do you switch to cheaper materials? Do you try to keep everything the same and hope people don't notice? And I think the truth is competing on price is a race to the bottom. There will always be someone who is going to sell it cheaper, someone less educated on even what their product is worth, a big box store that can get significantly better margins than you on raw product, people that have downgraded on materials. This is especially true for handmade businesses. And it's not a game that most of us can win, and it's not why we started making jewelry. When you move into materials that have less intrinsic value to make your jewelry, you're asking customers to pay primarily for craftsmanship and aesthetics. And that can be a much harder sell, honestly, not because your work isn't worth it and you can definitely educate your customer, but people do anchor value to materials whether we like it or not. Your customer trusts you to provide a certain level of value. I have been educating my customers for years, for example, on why I think 14 karat gold fill is superior to gold plated. And so I would feel uncomfortable or like I was duping my audience if now I started to sell plated jewelry because I've been educating them for over a decade now on the benefits of gold fill. So they trust me to keep that level of craftsmanship and quality materials, and they're willing to pay a higher price for that. You want to communicate with them why your prices are changing, what is going on in your business, why they should still purchase jewelry from you. Think about when you go to buy a vacuum. Maybe in our early 20s, we bought the cheapest vacuum, but now we might buy the mid range vacuum. And why do we do this? We feel like it'll last longer, it'll work better, it's a better value for our money. So, yes, people do pay a higher price when they want the value. Jewelry might be chosen with the heart, but whether someone actually buys these more expensive pieces comes down to confidence. Confidence in the product and the materials and the artist behind it. Higher material value supports that confidence. And that's why, even though this transition might feel scary, and I will lose customers, I will, I'd rather guide my audience upward than dilute what I make. So, yes, I can see how this is a scary moment. And I definitely have moments of fear, don't worry. But I really have learned that making decisions from a place of fear, especially when things are still so tumultuous and unclear about what's going to happen in the future, take advantage of these moments. This is where you get your strategic advantage. Even though jewelry and a lot of the other handcrafted goods we make are luxury items technically, there are plenty of people out there that are not affected by some of the fluctuations in the market. The money is out there. We just need to get ourselves in front of the right people. And I think that will be part of the challenge. But honestly, I feel like with the right marketing and education, you can sell anything. I keep thinking about Pogs. Does anyone remember Pogs? I mean, they were pieces of cardboard with printed pictures on them, and we collected and spent money on them like crazy. It was just all about the marketing. It wasn't the product. If you're a maker who's feeling freaked out right now, drop a comment. Tell me what your biggest concern is, and let's reframe it together, because I truly don't think this has to be as catastrophic as it seems.